It's Fire Talk time again. I'm your host, Public Safety Information Director Larry Flowers, and he's the Chief Extraordinaire, Chief Mark McCluskey.
Thanks, Larry.
Another busy month.
Yes, pretty busy month. Several car wrecks and house fires. It seems like this month of July.
Right. Let's take a look at those numbers.
Yeah, up a little bit this month from last month. Total calls, were 2,148, and break them down. 1,578 were EMS calls. Fire rescue incidents, 527, and 43 working fires.
Yeah, man, that 43 working fires and quite a few house fires. We're going to highlight a couple of those
we'll get into
fires.
those.
Slater Drive on July 3rd.
Yes, that was a house that we presume it was struck by lightning. It was during the storm coming in. Crews arrived on scene. They had smoke coming from the front of the house, so they entered the house and to the residents and found where the fire had, or lightning had struck the house, and it was on fire and extinguished it pretty quick. The occupants of the house, they wasn't there at the time, so no injuries were reported or anything. So, yeah. Of course, it's still under investigation. We pretty well know it was lightning, but we always have to make sure. So. Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Was out yesterday trying to play golf over at Old Fort, and man, a bolt of lightning, and it was just loud. So I can see how dangerous it is.
It's time of year, these little pop-up storms hit. So yeah.
Exactly.
I understand.
And then another house fire on Leaf Avenue.
Yeah, we got a report of a fire there, a residential fire. Got on the scene, still had an elderly man that was in the house. We removed him from the home. He was transported to the hospital for an evaluation. Of course, our crews went in, did a primary search, and found there's no other occupants inside, and extinguished the fire and ventilated the structure. Not too much damage, but enough to.
Right. Another fire, July 27th on Huddleston Avenue.
Yes, another one. When we arrived on the scene, they had heavy smoke coming from the home. They'd already confirmed that the occupants and their two pets had already evacuated safely. Crews located the fire, which was in the attic. Quickly extinguished it and prevented any further damage to the house. So did a good job on that one.
And understand the occupants as well as their pets.
Their pets,
they had gotten out.
They'd already gotten out before we got on the scene. So
that's good.
Good.
That's
yes.
Good. Fire located, I think, in the attic, wasn't it?
Yes, it was in the attic. Yes, it was in the attic.
Okay.
I think it was. If I'm not mistaken, it had some work done up there or something. It's looking like it might be electrical or some way like that. So, but I'm not the one that makes that call.
Right.
That's the reason we have the investigators. But
exactly.
Been doing it long enough, pretty well know what it is. But someone has to verify it.
Right. And then firefighters were able to extricate a patient that was involved in a crash on New Salem Highway and River Rock Boulevard on July 7th.
Yes, I think it was a two-car MVA. We had two patients trapped in the car when we arrived on the scene. Crews, stabilized the vehicle and began their extrication process. Got the occupants out of the car, and of course we treated them, and EMS was on the scene also, and they continued care and took them onto the hospital. No serious injuries, but a few. So
right. In another serious crash at the intersection of Northwest Broad Street and Brinkley Avenue on July 23rd.
Yes, another MVA where two vehicles crashed at this intersection. Come in as reported, people trapped. We got on the scene, found one of the vehicles was overturned with the occupant still in there. So the crews got on scene. You have to stabilize the vehicle and do what's necessary to get those out without causing any other injuries to them and get them out. And the driver, I think, suffered some minor injuries, and he was taken to the ER for precautions just to make sure everything's good.
And that's where that training comes into play.
Yes.
When we show the firefighters out at Doug Young,
Of course.
stabilizing vehicles and things of that nature. This is why we do it.
Yeah, it's you know, people think X-ray, oh, you just go up and cut the car.
Right.
But it's a whole lot more to it than that. You got to think scene safety, your safety, the patient's safety, what you're going to be doing, where you're going to do it at, and the most accurate way to get in the fastest way.
Right. And it seems like every month we're talking about some major crash on Interstate 24. There was another one on July 26th.
Yes, and this was multiple cars involved in it, and a couple of them sustained heavy damage to them. I don't think there was any serious injuries in this accident, but with it being multiple cars, I think one of them was disabled in the middle of the interstate, from what I understand, and so that shuts that interstate down, and that causes, you know, the big backups and wrecks on down the road. But yeah, it was. I think this one looked a whole lot worse than what it really was, but it was just several cars, and nobody was seriously injured in it.
And it looks like 2 days later there were 2 additional ones on Interstate 24.
Yes.
This time at Medical Center, I-24, I-840 interchange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just 2 more, you know, accidents. You know, it just. Some days it seems like they're happening right after the other. The next day you may not even have one, but that's very rare. But yeah, of course it slowed the traffic down in the area, and you know, it always does that around these crash intersections. But yeah, of course, you said the one on I-24, another one there, and one of them was there on Medical Center, so right there close in the same vicinity where these happen. I think they did transport a couple of patients out of each one of these wrecks.
Right. Yeah, definitely appreciate the hard work of those crews who respond, you know, to the interstate, as well as all the other crashes.
Yeah, you know, it's just sometimes when you get on these things and you hear how it happened, or somebody tells you how it happened, it's just a lot of times it's just senseless ways that it happened. Just, you know, slow down. You don't need to be in that lane that quick, you know.
Right.
And we've all seen it, people driving crazy, and red light turns red and they're right beside you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and, so just watch out and be aware of your surroundings. Just slow down and be safe.
Sure. And with Station 4 being near, you know, that waterway, Station 4 C shift, got an opportunity to do some water rescue training.
Yes, Station 4 on Medical Center Parkway, because it's right there in the back is Stones River, comes to one of the trailheads. Our Swiftwater team is stationed out at that station, and that was on purpose.
Right.
We make a lot of our calls in that area. It's a good recreational area, but we also use it for training. We have our ATV and our boat hooked up, and we can just pull right out of the station, go right down to the water, and go whatever way we need to go. But yeah, they're always taking the opportunity to get out there and train, and you know, just keep their skills sharp. You just never know when you're going to need them.
I mean, they do it all, including, you know, simulate boats, you know, flipping and tipping over, and you know.
Exactly. I've actually was a member of that team years ago, and that was one of the toughest things when we trained. We were up in East Tennessee, and we did a night drill, and that's what you had to do is turn the boat over, and you're out in the water, in Swiftwater actually too, and you got to get yourself back in the boat and back to the bank, and you know, complete darkness. So it was, you know, it can be tough.
Wow. So
these guys really work hard to, you know, accomplish these skills that they're doing.
Right. And I want to congratulate Risha Watson. She was recently promoted.
Yes, Risha. Risha's been with the city, I think, about a total of 19 years. The last 7's been with the fire department. We get accused of stealing her from the police department. But she's been over our finances, you know, in our department, and she has went above and beyond what she does. Had over the years has had more jobs added to her, what she's got to do with our finance. You know, it's not easy managing a 40 million plus budget, and Risha is doing a great job in doing that, and so we give her a promotion, moved her up, and she's still doing an excellent job for us.
Okay, so she's the new finance manager.
Yeah, she's her name, title now is financial manager for the fire department. So.
That's amazing. Thanks. Appreciate all that Risha does.
Yeah, well, we did. Just speaking of Risha, you know, she writes every check. If I spend a dime, Risha knows about it and has to spend it. And you know, it's like Risha runs the fire department. She controls the money. She runs the fire department. So we kid her all the time, but she's great.
All right. And then there was a Pierce Road Rally, made a stop here in Murfreesboro over at, is that Oshkosh?
Oshkosh, out off of Joe B. Jackson. Yes, if you're not familiar with Pierce, they're owned by Oshkosh, and Pierce is a fire truck manufacturer.
Right.
And we're fortunate here in Murfreesboro to have them here, because they come here on these road rallies and they bring trucks and invite people in the Middle Tennessee area, come look at our stuff, and had a few snacks, I think some ice cream out there maybe, and then they move on and they just travel around. And another thing that's interesting, we have just ordered 3 new Pierce trucks, and they're built in Appleton, Wisconsin, but the cabs that will go on our truck are built right here in Murfreesboro. Our cabs will be built here in Murfreesboro and shipped to Wisconsin to be put on our truck.
It's only it's early in the morning that we're recording this, Chief, but I'm hungry just to read this next story.
Yes.
There's a rib relay sponsored by Texas Roadhouse,
Yes.
and the winner got a big prize, trophy, but then the most important thing is proceeds from that day's sale got to go to a special charity.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, and of course, the fire department, when it comes to eating, we won. And and we're always figuring out. This is something I asked one of our guys that was eating ribs. I said, what's the trick of eating ribs fast? He said, well, we sit here and we analyze this and how we did it. We started, you got to take the bones out first. Get the bones out, you just eat it up.
Oh, that's why those bones were that clean.
So they had a strategy before they started, and that's the way firemen are. We're going to get us a strategy, and that's what we're going to go with. It worked out. So yeah, it was a good cause, a lot of fun, and some of the names that they had for the teams was pretty funny. So yeah, it was a good time for them.
Yeah, great job.
There is a video on that too. It shows them eating them, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. And then we had a kitten rescue by Engine 9.
Yes, another kitten. We're gonna save our little furry friends,
yes,
but
indeed.
yeah, this here was a mom and her kittens got separated from, so we united them, and mom was doing good and the babies were doing good. I don't think this one went viral like the other one, so but yeah, always helping our little furry friends.
And then we had a few retirements in July.
Yes,
starting with Sarge, as we call him.
Sarge, Sarge is one of them. If you've seen Charles, I don't know who you're talking about. It's Sarge to us. So many years. He had put in 21 years with our department. He had worked on shift work for a while, come to the inspection division, did that for a while, then went into training, and Sarge kind of got a late start in his career, but he did 21 years, and he knew it was time for him to start retiring and enjoying himself. But he's been an asset to our department for several years, and we wish him the best.
Any special stories about Sarge?
Yeah,
that comes to mind.
Well, a few. I got a few on all of them. I don't know if I can share all of them.
I got you.
But I'm just kidding. But Sarge, he gets his name Sarge. He was in the military, and he's like a drill instructor out there. He led a lot of our recruits, and he'd go over there and be tough with them and do everything with them. When we get back to the office, like, it's just killing me, But over there, he would show it a bit. But, it's like, Sarge, you get too old to do all that. But he would not let anybody outdo him on the drill field. So he was a good one. But we're going to miss him.
And Captain Brian Krager also retired.
Yes, Brian Krager. Worked with Brian several years. Remember when he was hired, when he come in, he's had 28 years before he retired, but I had him as a firefighter on my truck. I had him as my driver. Then he got promoted to captain and left my truck and stuff. But Krager, he's something else. He's been a good one, and it really surprised me that Brian retired. And I always told him, I said, I will not believe it till you don't come to work, because you can go back to City Hall and say, I can't, because Brian likes to keep up with everything that's going on. I said, what are you going to do? You're not going to know what's going on up here. But yeah, we had a lot of good times together. Me and Brian, he was one of the people in our group. We used to take a trip every year up to Gatlinburg. We did that, I think it was 16 years straight. So
Wow.
good friend there. We're going to miss him, and he's going to enjoy retirement. He's got grandbabies now and a young daughter, and so he's ready for it. So.
Right. And he was one of the biggest recruiters for the department. He
Yes.
tried to get my son year after year after year. They worked together at FedEx at one point, and he stayed on it.
Yeah, Brian, he was a positive influence on our department, you know. He never had a bad word to say about our department, and he when he found somebody he wanted to come to work here, he would try to recruit them.
Right.
You know, good people.
So 21, 28, well, Jeep got way more years on them. So Eugene Jeep Todd.
Yeah, Eugene Todd, another one. If you say Eugene, I don't know who you're talking about. That's Jeep. He's 36 years with our department.
36,
You know, he's as a matter of fact, he's on the way to Alaska right now. He's doing an Alaskan cruise. Him and his wife. As soon as he retired. So, but he's one of them. He worked in come in as firefighter, moved up to driver. Then I don't think Jeep ever did the captain position. Then he got into the training.
Right.
And stayed in it several years. Done a good job. He was his job in training. Of course, he would go out and do training with the individuals, but his main job was entering all the data for our training and keeping up with that, making sure everybody had that every year, make sure that you're just going to a class and stuff like that. But
So how did he get the name Jeep, the nickname?
You know, that's a good one. I don't know how he got that name. It's just that's all I've known him by. You know.
Did he drive a Jeep or something?
You would think so, but the way these names come about sometimes, I don't know. I can remember one. I don't remember his real name. It was his first day at work. This is not Jeep, but Doug Reveille went up to one of our new guys and said, "What's your name?" Just real, kind of mess with him.
Right.
He told him, he said, I think his name might have been Mark, actually. He said, "You don't look like a Mark. You look like a Jimmy." And he worked there for several years, and his name was Jimmy.
Called him Jimmy.
And nobody knew his real name. That's just, that's just kind of the way it is around the fire department. And so.
That is funny.
Yeah, I've worked with people several years and not know their real name.
All right. And another busy month on social media. So there were 370,206 views on Facebook. Yeah, and some of the top posts, the final splash out for the summer, that was back on the 23rd, 27,874. That's Slater Drive Fire, 24,324. Station 4 Water Rescue Training, 23,814 views. One of the crashes on I-24, 19,804. And then Craig's retirement.
Gregor, yeah.
Yeah, Krager, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
18,374 views on that one. And then looking at Instagram, views for July, 28,066. It's sort of a different audience.
It is. I was noticing how it changed.
And Facebook. So, we kind of post like a lot of the positive stuff on Instagram. And so it's a different audience. It's kind of crazy.
It
But the retirements from Jeep and Sarge, 13,588 views. 2-car crash at Northwest Broad and Brinkley, 10,514. And then Jeep's retirement announcement also garnered 10,328 views. So it's funny how people look at different things differently on the different platforms.
And I noticed it seems like there's always, like the vehicle crashes are always in all of them, and I speculate people like, what's going up here? Let me check social media.
Exactly.
Because I'm stuck in the traffic and stuff. So
for sure.
Good stuff there.
You can also tune in to WGNS every first Monday of the month to hear more about MFRD. Chief Mark McCluskey is typically the guest, but sometimes he would invite in guests to fill the seat for him when he has other things to do. And he's always busy. I say we have more meetings than Congress around here. So I'm sure you're in meeting after meeting and training. And
somebody told me one day, you're having a meeting about the meeting. But the city, not only the fire department, but the whole city itself, there is so much going on,
Right.
you know, and you got to have them. You got to share this information, communicating. So,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we leave?
Yeah, a couple of things. You noticed this month of July that we had a lot of vehicle crash, and I mentioned something about it. Just, you know, slow down, pay attention, get off your phone. A lot of these accidents are preventable.
Right.
And one other thing, an update on our Captain Ayers. A couple
yeah,
of days ago, he was transported to Atlanta down to the Shepherd Center for some rehab. We're going to go down there and see what they can do to help him
Right,
out. But still need to remember him. He's still in bad shape, but we're hoping the best for him.
Yeah, we
So,
definitely keep him in your prayers and
Yes.
ask, you know, everybody watching to also
Yes.
pray for him as well. We appreciate you joining us for this episode of Fire Talk. As always, we hope that you find our discussions both enlightening and informative. You can catch us for more engaging conversation right here on City TV, as well as on the City of Murfreesboro YouTube channel, as well as Murfreesboro and MFRD's social media platforms. I'm Larry Flowers on behalf of Chief Mark McCluskey. We'll see you next time on Fire Talk.
thank you.